2023 has been the most important year of my life. It's the year that I began the process of immigrating to Portugal. My name is Howie. Welcome to Positively Portugal. The first thing that you're going to notice if you've seen one of my previous videos is the channel has undergone a bit of a refocusing, not so much a rebranding. I wanted the name to reflect the tone of the channel, which has always been more positivity than anything. Positivity about moving to Portugal and living out your dream of moving to Portugal, or if Portugal is not for you, it tells you that it's okay to move wherever you feel like moving. Now, gone is seja inevitável. Here to stay is Positively Portugal. This was a direct response to the constant barrage of bullshit and negativity from other content creators here about moving to Portugal. They're basically telling you to leave Portugal. Don't move there. Don't live out your dream. Everything is doom and gloom and a nightmare. And I'm here to tell you that they're all full of crap. So going forward, this is Positively Portugal. Now, let's talk about my journey so far. Before we get to 2023, we got to get to February of 2022, where I made the decision that I was going to leave the United States. I actually kept I kept this plan of mine secret for more than a year and a half. Most people in my life did not know that I was going to move to Portugal. So in February of 2022, I made that decision. I did a lot of research. I looked up different countries. I watched tons of YouTube videos, read a lot of articles. Portugal was the one that always came out on top. I knew right away I was not moving to Asia or Latin America. My family and friends are in the United States, and I have some family in Spain. So this was actually a no-brainer. Portugal was never not the top choice for me. But I knew I had to get right financially. I couldn't just move to another continent, cross an ocean, start a new life if I wasn't ready to. You know, the car was almost paid off. There were still student loans at the time. I decided I needed to work my ass off for one more year. Now, I made that decision because I knew if I didn't leave the United States, well, retirement was probably not happening until 75. Now, for the majority of my career, I had worked 55 to 70 hours a week. And that's kind of when I started feeling it. Everything was catching up to me. Slowing down a little bit. You know, every day was a little bit harder to wake up and turn the computer on. Thankfully, I work from home, so it wasn't really the worst thing in the world, but I'll tell you, it wasn't any good. So I had to get right financially, and I did that for the most part in 2022. In March of 2023, listen to me, I can't talk today. I contacted two immigration companies. One is the company that I went with, which is Viv Europe. I highly recommend them to you. Getting the NIF and the bank account was relatively easy. They give you the steps. They tell you what you got to do. They put you on the right path. And they're not afraid to have phone calls or video calls or WhatsApp calls and communicate with you like you're a normal human being. And most of all, they show you that they are human beings as well. Now, I'm talking about this because there's another immigration company that people use to move to Portugal that's actually more well-known. I'm not going to give you their name. I don't think you should use them. They treated me in a way that I don't like being treated. There was no form of telephone calls or anything like that in the process. They made that very clear in the email sent to me. In fact, they made it so clear, the tone of the email was one that it's an honor and a privilege to hear from this company. Now, I get I may be a little old school and that most things now are done electronically, you know, through email and even text messaging now, if you are familiar with things like DocuSign. But look, I'm from Generation X. We know there's a time for phone calls, for more personal human interaction. So The more popular company, who, again, I'm not going to tell you their name. I don't want to promote them. I don't want to give them any business, and I don't think you should use them. I wasn't going to go with them. If you are thinking about moving to Portugal, I wholeheartedly endorse Viv Europe. That's V as in victory, I as in ice, V as in victory, space Europe. Viv Europe. I am not getting anything for this. I don't get payment. I don't get anything, and I don't want anything. I want nothing but success for this company who has helped me so much that I'm not afraid to tell you how great they are. So I got the NIF, I got the bank account, I got all the steps I need. Were there obstacles along the way? Were there bumps on the road? Sure, there were. I wholeheartedly despise the bank that I use, Novo Banco, but multiple sources have confirmed to me that for moving to Portugal, setting everything up, getting your initial bank account, that they're the easiest to work with. I can't even imagine anything being harder than Novo Banco, and I swear the very first thing that I do when I finally get to Portugal in the coming months will be to close out my Novo Banco account and open an account at a real bank. There was the end of the NIF, which, yeah, not the best thing pardon me, not the NIF. There was the end of the NHR, which, yeah, not the best thing in the world for Americans or, people not from, I guess, Portugal, maybe Europe. I don't know if that's necessarily an EU thing. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I'm not European. So that wasn't the best thing in the world for me or for others. But look, as I've stated in previous videos, it's not the worst thing in the world either. Just, keep doing your research. Keep doing what you have to do. The end of the NHR, under no circumstances, should prevent you from moving to Portugal. And of course, there was my employment situation. Well, I can't take my current job with me. The company I work for does not want me to leave the Tampa Bay area, despite the fact that I work from home. So go figure that one out. But I thought that finding a different remote job would be a lot easier than it was. Well, guess what? The economy turned to shit everywhere in the world. I feel very confident in saying that more than 99% of remote jobs out there are complete bullshit. They're scams, they're schemes, all commissions based. And look, at my age, there's no commissions. Okay, I'm not doing any work for anyone if there's no paycheck involved. So I'm still working full-time. I'm going to be working full-time. This channel is not monetized yet. This is not my living. I hope that one day it will be. Kind of thinking maybe around 2028 it will be. But in the meantime, this is just something that I'm working on to get going. And of course, the other huge bump in the road is that I was convinced I was going to move to Lisbon. And now I'm fairly certain that it's the Algarve for me. Lisbon still might happen in the beginning for like 4 months, just to make the move easier for my cat. More direct connections. I can get to Lisbon a lot easier than I can to, say, Portimao, which is where I want to be. You go to Portimao, you got to fly into Faro and then figure out a connection to get to Portimao or really any other place on the Algarve. So Lisbon still might happen, just for my cat, but we'll see. There's no guarantees other than I know I want to end up in the Algarve. I spoke about the possibility of Madeira in my last video, because Madeira and the Azores are continuing on the NHR for now. But look, I'm not an island person. I can't do it. I can't be in a position where if I want to go anywhere, I must take an airplane. So for the most part, I'm ruling out Madeira. The Azores were never an option for me. I don't like cold weather. But yeah, this has not been an easy process, but we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we are getting there. I want to thank you for coming along with me on this ride. I wish you all a happy and healthy new year. If you are in New York and you're at the festivities in Times Square. Better you than me, but I wish you a happy and healthy new year as well. I will see you next year in 2024, which for the third consecutive year will be the most important year of my life.